next level, when you get to like using 20% of your brain capacity, forgiveness is not even an issue because you've already transcended it. See, forgiveness is a man thing, right? God is already forgiven. You know, so
Absolutely.
the transcendence of that, where you can just forgive and let people be. Like the second agreement is never take anything personal, because it's never personal, right? But we take everything personal, right? And you know, and you can love somebody. Our job is to love, right? You can love somebody, you just don't have to like them.
Yeah.
You
Or
know?
deal with it.
Right? You know, because people go, well, you love me, but do you like me? Or people think if I tell you I love you, that means like that tells you like my relationship to you is deeper than no other. But I could love you and not like you, right?
I told my daughter that one time, it blew her mind. Baby, I love you to death, but I don't like you very much.
Yeah, because of the characteristics that we carry. So that's what you don't like, is the characteristics of the person. But love, you're right.
Right.
We ought to love no matter what.
Right. So, you know, it's easier to love you in the space of being attracted to you. But being attracted to somebody and loving, like liking them, sometimes that's shit.
It's hard.
I didn't tell my girl last night, I was like, look, I don't like you right now, man. You're annoying the shit out of me right now.
Yeah.
So she got up and got all her shit together and was like, you know, like, so I need to know what, so she's sitting on the couch talking. I'm like, look, man, I need to know, are you leaving or are you staying? Because I don't have time to fuck around with you.
Yeah,
Like,
playing this
leaving?
game. I ain't
Either
got
you leaving
time.
or you staying. Because I'll walk you to your car, you know, but I ain't got time to be fucking around with you, right?
How we gonna do this?
Yeah, you know, and then it's like, you know, shit, time you get mad, you want to get up and run away. Shit, I didn't, you know, playing fucking games, you know, like, look,
Ain't got time for
fucking
that
play.
shit.
I'm a grown ass man. Don't fucking play
I
with
don't
me.
have time.
Well, I don't.
Been there, done that.
But the thing is she's never been with anybody who kept it real like that. So I'm like, look, I'm gonna love you regardless. I'm gonna support you through whatever. We don't have to be together for you to do that.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
you know, but I don't really like you right now.
You're mine.
Look. Yeah, I ain't get pussy when I can't get nothing to eat.
Okay?
I ain't really worried about you.
Yeah,
You know,
and that part, yeah.
right. You know, so.
Yes, man.
But you gotta really be, really be clear that love is just in our divine nature. And sometimes we confuse love with romance, and it's not necessarily, that's not really it. You know, love is our divine calling. So, you know, when somebody says, you know, I like you, I really like you. I mean, like, to me, that's a bigger compliment than I love you.
Yeah.
Right? Because, you know, our job is to love.
Absolutely.
Right? Where did I stop on the presuppositions of NLP? For what presupposition means is assumed to be true. Nobody knows that anything is true other than, you know, and that's if you're a believer or non-believer, but if you're a believer, the Word of God is the only thing that's true. And anything else above and beyond that is assumed to be true. It's not true, right? It's just a person's point of view, perspective, something that we presume to be true, or assume to be true.
The last one you gave us was number 3.
Was that people?
Aim to increase choices.
Yeah.
Okay, I bought my book instead of doing it off the internet, so
What is it, NLP?
yeah, it's NLP. As a matter of fact, if y'all are interested, there's a NLP conference on. I mean, I think it's, I want to say it's $97. It's a $4,000 course. I'll help you get certified if you want to get certified. It's in Newport Beach. It's August 31st through the whatever that Thursday through
Well, 31st
through
is
Sunday.
Sunday. August
31st is you sure?
Oh, 31st is a Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, the first is that Monday.
Yeah.
August the 31st is Sunday. Hey, Yvonne,
Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning. All right.
Sorry, I'm late. Yeah, 31st is Sunday.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what day it is. It's, maybe it's the 27th.
Now, it's to be
It's the
certified for the NLP, or,
Can somebody go to NLP.com?
Yeah.
So maybe it's the 28th. It's 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st.
okay, so 29 would be, Friday, so Friday,
28th,
Saturday.
28th. So it's
28th,
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday.
It's a 10-hour day, but you get certified, and we'll help you with the certification. We'll help you with the test and all that stuff. So, but because a lot of stuff he's gonna throw at you is gonna come at you really fast. But it's all the stuff that Tony Robbins does. Everybody that, anybody that's really good in language is done NLP. You know, Oprah, Obama. They're all, because they know how to reframe. They know how to take in information, reframe it, and give it back to you. Right? Did you find it?
Yeah.
What did it say there? No, but go to NLP.com. Good morning.
Good morning.
It starts on the 27th.
Oh, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Is that Wednesday?
I believe the 27th is Wednesday.
Integrated NLP training. August 27th to the 31st.
Mm-hmm.
This will be the last time we offer this NLP training for $97. It will be at the Radisson Newport Beach. It's really Irvine. They call it Newport Beach. Classes from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. What you will receive is NLP training course material, NLP practitioner, 45 MP3 audio collections, timeline, MP3, NLP techniques and demos, $300 credit. Yeah, so that's this. There's a lot of stuff you can do with NLP. So we're gonna start over. So it's gonna go respect. I'm gonna give you the acronym first. Now I'm gonna tell you what each letter means. So it's respect your world, and that's UR, not OUR. Respect your world. So you can do it vertically. Vertically. R E underneath that. S.
So,
Respect your, but it's you, not yours.
So, but the word is respect.
Respect.
And then
You are world. Your world. Respect your world. Okay. The first one is respect. For other have a respect for other people's model of the world. When you're talking to people, one of the things we were just talking about someone else's view is respect another person's model of the world, because their model of the world is their model of the world, right? However they see the world, whatever world they came up in, however they need to guard themselves and protect themselves is how they do it. Just respect another person's model of the world. Not make your world their world, right? Just respect another person's model of the world. Behavior and change are to be evaluated in terms of context and ecology. So, behavior and change, what they're saying here is this, is that when you look at a person in an environment they're not used to being in, you want to calibrate their behavior based on the environment they're in, right? And whatever they're up to. So you want to, and then whatever context they're in. If you put somebody in a situation where they're not very comfortable, they're in an uncomfortable context, and the environment is not comfortable, you're going to get a different behavior. If you get someone who's say you get somebody at the club, right, and they've had a few drinks or they've done some drugs, different context. The environment is different, right? The environment's different, and the context is different, right? Because they're in a place where I need to be this kind of way. I need to be happy. I need to be this way or that way. So the context has changed and the environment has changed. So you really want to judge somebody based on how you met them in the club, or do you want to, or you meet somebody at church and look at the context, like look at the environment. So you meet somebody here, are they that way, right? So you want to look at a person in a different how are they with their family? How are they, at church? How are they at, when y'all go out in the social setting? You got to take all that into account when you're dealing with somebody, because you see them, you're like, oh damn, I thought she was this little, I see you at church and you're like this and shit. I get home, you like a lion. What the hell? So right? And not that I'm on, but I mean, like, damn, you gonna come in here tearing up something, you be like, running out the house.
You like, damn.
3, resistance. This one's going to be kind of a little. I'm going to read it to you, and then I'll come back and paraphrase it. But resistance in a client is a sign of. Good morning. Is a sign of lack of rapport. There's no resistant client, only an inflexible communicator. Effective communicators accept and utilize all communication presented to them. Right. So this S is a sign of a lack of rapport. So S is a sign of a lack of rapport. So if you have no rapport with people, there's always going to be resistance. There's always going to be arguments. So you need to look at why is there resistance? Why am I not getting rapport with people? Because wherever you go, if you end up in an argument, it means that you're probably not getting rapport with people. You're not establishing rapport. You're not present to what's going on in the environment, and that's why you're having arguments. Especially if you're dealing with a client. If you're getting a lot of resistance from a client, then it means that there's no rapport. There's no trust there with you and them. That's why you're getting the resistance. 4.
Now, are these the follow-ups from the first 3 that you
they're like those. I'm just giving you from my book now, because I took them offline.
What did the E represent?
The ecology.
Ecology?
Ecology. Ecology means the environment. Like when we get to SMART goals, we'll ask, is it ecological? Is it good for the environment? Is it good for your environment? Is it good for the relationship, like your family environment? Is it good for your entire environment? Like, is it good for you? Is it good for everybody around you? Like others, is it good for the planet? Right, kind of thing. When you look at things, when I do it, is it good for the ecology? Is it good for the ecology, the environment that I surround myself with, or I involve myself in? Where are we at? P. People are not their behaviors. Accept a person, change the behavior.
People
are not their behavior.
And just to backtrack, what was S?
Sign of rapport.
sign of lack or rapport?
Lack of rapport.
Lack of rapport.
Okay, 5 is E. Everyone is doing the best they can with the resources they have, available. So in this one, this is some, you can write some of this. I'm going to say it and you can paraphrase it how you want. Behavior is geared for adaptation, and the present behavior is the best choice available. Every behavior is motivated by a positive intent. So everything that everybody does has a positive intent. Whether you use, whether you commit a crime, whether you cheat, right? You might say, well, how is that? Because whatever the intention was for that person, it was either they were seeking some kind of pleasure, they needed to find something for themselves. It wasn't meant with the intent to hurt another person. Sometimes people do that, but usually if the intent is usually the intent is good. The ethics behind it may not be good. The results behind it, the integrity behind it may not be good, but the intention is usually not bad. Right? Somebody goes to rob something, they feel they have a need for something. So the way they're going to get money or be able to survive, but the integrity behind it is not the best integrity. But their intention is not really to hurt somebody. Their intention is to get money to take care of whatever need they need. Now, I mean, we could go much more into that, but if you really just get the gist of it is that most people don't do things with the intent because they don't think about the other people. They just think about what they need right now. Right? They're thinking about their personal need in this moment. They're not thinking about all the other people that they affect. Right? 6 is C. Calibrate on behavior. The most important information about a person is the person's behavior.
Calibrate on behavior.
That doesn't contradict people or not their behaviors?
No, because people aren't. It's just, so the most important information about a person is their behavior, because you're not dealing with the person, you're dealing with the behavior of the person, right? So we separate because people innately are good, right? It's the behavior that we want to do something with, right? And what causes behavior, right? You go back to the 5 agreements. The behavior is generated by the 5 agreements, right? Not being impeccable with your word. 2, taking things personal. 3, making assumptions. 4, not doing our best. And 5, not being skeptical or willing to listen, right? But the reason why they're not willing to do 5 is because 1, 2, and 3 have taken over, right? Their word means nothing to them, or they think their word is the only word, and that everything is personal because the world is trying to do something to them, and every assumption that they make, because there's nothing to fill that in, they fill it in themselves with whatever information they have, right? So a lot of times we collapse the person with the behavior, and it's sometimes it can be difficult not to mix the two, because that's what we're accustomed to. That you are your behavior, but you're not your behavior, right? Your behavior is your behavior, and you're you. Because who you are is a divine emanation of God, and there's nothing wrong with you. You're whole, perfect, and complete, right? It's the behavior that you created as a recreator. You created on top of what was already given you, being whole, perfect, and complete. You added something on top of that. Now that thing has become your identity. So there's all these masks that you wear to protect yourself. So this person got hurt, who was whole, perfect, and complete, pure. Missing nothing, never been hurt, never, no need to protect myself. And something happened, I put the shield up that I need to protect myself. Then something happened to threaten this identity, so I put another shield up to protect that. And then something happened to protect, to scare or frighten this identity, so I put up this. So I got identities all the way out to here, right? So you ever hear the term pulling back the layer of the onions, right? So you're hearing pulling back the different layers, because each layer is protecting the layer before it, right? So when we get back to the core of who you are, where you lost yourself, where you got disconnected, then all of a sudden you start to feel alive again, right? Because it's hard being somebody that you're not, but you've been that so long that you don't even know who you are.
So when we get disconnected, is it from when we start at the age of learning right from wrong? Is that when we, because as we're born, we're complete, whole, and perfect. Don't know no wrong, really.
Right.
So when you get
And there
disconnected-
is, I mean, you know, and I'm not biblically inclined enough to even get into this conversation, but there is no wrong really outside of what the Word of God is, right? But then that could be up to interpretation as well, because there's a group of men that sat around and interpreted what it was that God said, right? So, you know, so there is no right or wrong other than man's interpretation of right or wrong. In America, it's wrong to have a relationship with a teenager. In some of the Middle Eastern countries or some of the European countries, you can be with a 12 or 13-year-old. It's not a crime, right? In some places, it's okay to have more than one wife. In this country, it's not. So those are laws made by man, right?
So
Yeah.
can I say I was disconnected as a little boy when I started going in the store stealing gum and stuff like that, and then started hanging with other bad kids, and that's where I lost my.
Well, the question I would ask you is, what did the child say to himself at that time that had him feel that he had to steal gum? Who were you not, or who did you think you weren't enough of that you had to go steal gum?
I didn't have the money to buy it, and
Okay,
I wanted some gum.
But here you want to look a little bit deeper than that, because that's a surface level answer, right? Why was gum so important to me that I was willing to risk that? Why did I have to have gum over water? Why did I have to have gum over something healthy? What was it that gum was going to give you something, or had to have rise to the level of importance that had you go for gum and steal the gum, knowing that you knew you could get in trouble?
Yeah, cause
Okay.
it was stealing. I knew.
Okay. So then there was something about that that was more important to you. Either the stealing gave you something to your friends that's more important than the trouble you were going to get in or could have gotten in, right? So that's where you want to start to look. You want to look beyond the surface, because if you can answer the question, that usually ain't it. Because look, there's what you know, and there's what you know you don't know. Can anybody in the room tell me what you know? Tell me what you know.
I'm 51.
You
No, I don't know. I keep saying that. I'm not 51. I was born in 61. I'm 53.
Yeah. So you know you're 53,
Uh-huh.
right? Anybody else?
You don't even know.
Huh? Anybody
He's
else?
51.
It's really like you all know you're a man or woman. You don't have to be like, hold on, let me sit. You don't do. I mean, you know you're man. These are questions that are right there. You know it. You don't have to look at your driver's license to know your name, right? You know your name, right? These are things you know, and you know them. You don't have to think about them. You just recall them. So, what's your name? Oh, my name is James. My name is Anthony. My name is, right? You know right then. Like when somebody says, what's your mom's name? You know right there. You don't have to think about it. This is information you know, and you know it. If someone says, what's 2 + 2? You know the answer. You know it. You don't have to think about it. It's like right there, right? Then there's things that you don't know. So what are some things you don't know? Trigonometry. What else?
I don't know a lot of things.
Okay.
Growth and decay formula in calculus.
The growth and decay formula in calculus.
How to speak Spanish.
How to speak Spanish, right? Right? But here's the thing. You'd have to know it to know that you don't know it.
See?
Huh?
Know about it.
Well, you know that it exists. right? So you have to know that it exists and know that you don't know it, right?
Okay.
So your realm of knowledge is very small. You know what you know, and you know what you don't know, and that's probably 1% of everything that's known to man, right? So if I learned everything that I didn't know, would my knowledge expand? Would it?
Learn what you don't know.
You know what you know.
Why would
He's about to break it down.
Huh?
I said he's about to break it down.
This board has seen its better days.
What happened to the one with the paper on? Hey, check
Oh,
it
it's
out.
back there.
Trying to pin on one of the tables yesterday before you left.
Yeah,
Good
Brenda
morning,
has.
good morning.
Brenda, really? Oh,
Good morning, Pastor.
You get my text?
Yeah.
Okay.
I sent you back, okay. So let's say this is all the knowledge in the world, everything knowable to man.
What's
Every-
that, just a circle you have?
It's a circle, yeah.
Okay.
Let's say that this captured everything knowable in the world, in the entire universe, knowable to man. How much would you say we know, percentage-wise?
32.
Individually?
As a whole people?
Huh? So who said 10%? So if you walked into this, if you just walked into the library at USC or UCLA, would you say you know 10% of all the information and all the books that exist in that library?
No.
I might
Any
assume so.
library.
No. Okay,
I
so,
might assume so. but
huh?
I've been reading since I was, I used to read the dictionary.
So we walk in the library at UCLA, right? And we're looking at this vast library. You think you know 10% of all the stuff that's in that library?
He do.
No.
Yeah.
That's
Tell him.
again, I think I do.
Yeah, I told you, we do.
Okay, so let's say you know 10% of everything in that library. Now, everything in the universe knowable to man. How much you think we know?
0.00000.
Less than 1%?
I have 1%, but let's say 1%, right? But I think they had like 17 zeros, then 1, something like that.
Jeez.
Right? So let's say that this is 1%.
Wow, it's a big 1%.
And then, well, because it'd be too small then,
Yeah, okay.
right? So let's say we're splitting that 1% up into 25% and 75%, right? So here's what you know, and you know that you know it. There's no question. You know it, right? Then there's this world. What world is that? Don't know. And you know that you don't know it, right? So you know that you don't know it, right? So if I learned everything that I didn't know, brain surgery, how to fly a plane, blah, 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 Spanish, French, Chinese, Japanese, Arabic, if I learned all of that stuff, right? If I learned all of that stuff, right? What,
Basic.
and everything,
Visual basic.
everything from here went over here. Would I have increased my knowledge?
Of course.
Huh?
I believe so.
How? Because now I know all of this, so I just now know what I didn't know. Has my knowledge increased?
No.
No.
Your personal knowledge will increase, not the world's knowledge.
Not what's knowable. I just know what I know and know what I didn't know. And what I did know, I now know. But I had to know that it existed to know that to know that I did know it. Now I know it.
That doesn't mean you knew what it was. You knew what it was. Like I know that he's a man and that's a woman, but you don't know how they was made up. You don't know their DNA, so on and so forth.
So now I learned DNA. I learned the science of it. Right now I know, but it's inside of what I already knew. Right? Because I'd have to know it to know that that I don't know it, or know like I'd have to know something. Even if I knew something didn't exist, I'd have to know that it didn't exist and know that it didn't exist.
So your awareness was already there of its existence.
Yes.
Right.
So, but this is so. When we talk about the second agreement or the third agreement, right? Really, I'm arguing with people. We're arguing with people over these two realms. What I know and what I don't know. What I know and what I know I don't know. And I'm arguing with you about what you know and what you don't know. And we're having an argument about that. But what you know is what you know, and what I know is what I know. What I don't know is what I don't know, and what you don't know is what you don't know. Mm-hmm. What happens is that shocks my system because I feel like I know everything. Mm-hmm. Well, we don't act like we don't know everything. We act like we know everything. Right? So, you know, if we, so I'll just put this back here for this, but so.
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, at least you know you don't know.
Okay. So yeah.
He's up.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So this is not where Emerging Leaders wants to work with you. We know what you know. You know. We know what you know that you don't know. Right? We don't really care about that. Because knowing what you know and knowing what you don't know just keeps you in the same quandary that you're in anyway. Mm-hmm. It keeps having you do the same thing over and over again, wonder why the hell am I doing that? Mm-hmm. Right? This is where we want to get into. We want to get into this world.
What is that?
Didn't know.
You don't know.
Don't know, don't care.
No,
Oh, DK.
don't know that you don't know.
DK.
Blind spot.
DK.
Don't know that you don't know.
Don't know. So can anybody in the room tell me what they don't know that they don't know?
No, I didn't know. I didn't know it.
Hmm?
No, because I didn't know it.
But that will be up there. Can anybody in the room tell me what they don't know that they don't know?
No.
Right? Or said a better way, answer if you could tell me what you don't know that you don't know. You can't.
Cue crickets.
The good news is that there's a lot of room for growth.
Good morning. Yeah, because here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's not that you don't have the stuff present. It's not that it's not present for you. You just haven't accessed it. So, you know, like when you're driving down the freeway, you know that there's other cars on the side of you. They're just in your blind spot. And when you try to get over in that lane, they let you know they're there. Bump! Right? They let you know they're there, right? Well, this is really the horn is getting blown right now, right? So the questions that we ask, so sometimes you guys think we may ask some crazy questions, or we may frame something a particular way. Even when Ariano asks you some questions, it's really here to get you access into the blind spot, right? So you know what you know about job interviews, you know what you know about resumes, you know what you know, but you don't know what you don't know about it, right? And he's gonna ask you the questions. Now, when you start to get this information, this begins to expand, right? These edges begin to expand because now you know more stuff, and you know that the existence of something I just don't know how to do it yet, right? So here's the thing. The world of possibility exists inside of here. I don't have to know what possibility is limitless. Love is limitless. Peace is limitless. It's all inside of here. But I can't access it because I don't, because my view of love, my view of love is inside of this. My view of relationship is inside of this. My view of peace is inside of this. My view of prosperity and abundance is inside of this.
Spirituality.
Spiritually, everything is inside of this. Right? My God is better than your God is inside of this. Right? You know, my word is my word is better than your word because of this. It's inside of this context. Right? So we want to get into what you don't know that you don't know. We want to tap into the unconscious. We want to tap into and have you begin to explore and ask yourself the questions. Not, I stole gum because I wanted gum. What's the reason behind it? I want to see the blind spots. I want to see what my blind spots are around it. What was stealing gum going to give me that I wasn't accessing before? Right? Morning.
To prove that I was like my friends, that they did it, so I can do it.
What are you looking for?
I'm sorry.
Okay. So that's where we want to tap into. We want to tap into what is it that don't know that I don't know, right? So, all right. So, are you come on?
Yeah, I just
Come
need
on.
3 people. I'm gonna go and do the resume spot.
Okay.
Any 3 that have one with them? Yep. Anybody else?
Everybody got a resume?
It's okay. They got the resume. All right.
Resume, yeah. Hey, G, is the room open?
Not sure. I'll check right